Hi guys, am I audible? Hi guys, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So I hope you know today's topic is that's our blueprint. Okay. So let's begin with our class. You're able to see my screen?
Yeah, yes, we can see.
Okay. So kindly start with me so that you can catch up with whatever we are learning for in the today's session. Okay. So our today's topic is introduction to blueprints. So our goals and outcomes are under the blueprint. So goal of this lecture would be to explain the blueprint editor, the introduction of the blueprints. So to demonstrate how to create the blueprint classes. So introduce to the concept of child inheritance. To show how to place the nodes in event graph and to explain the blueprint graph execution. So by the end of the day, so when our classes end, no, so what will you learn? So what are your learning outcomes? So your learning outcomes you will be understanding the difference between the graph event and the event graph and the construction script. So under the blueprint we have a event graph and we have the construction script also. So we'll be learning on what's the difference between them and how do we use them. So placing nodes in the event graph to understand the basic concept of the parent child inheritance and to understand the execution flow of the blueprint and other stuff. Okay, just give me a second, I think someone wants to join. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, our main goal at the end of the session to understand the event graph and the construction script. So that's like the highlight of today's class. But you will also learn the blueprint class and other whatever right now we had explained, right? So all these things you'll be learning. Okay. So right now, let's start with what is blueprint. Right. So, Blueprint is a visual scripting language created by Epic Games for Unreal Engine. So, here it is mentioned as Unreal Engine 4, but in general, it is Unreal, whatever version you are using. So, that version you can use the blueprints. Okay. So, the importance to learn the blueprint is so you might be not the coder or you might not know the coding to learn to make the games or anything, but you are interested to learn all these things. So in that case, what you will learn? So here the Unreal Engine is giving you all the facility to learn or to make all these things using the blueprint. So blueprint is a visually scripting language where you don't have to know all this coding basis or everything. So you don't have to know the C++, Python to create your own games. So using the blueprint, using the blueprint, it's a visual scripting language created by Epic Games. So as you can see in the panel, so using all those things you can create all those things. So a script in blueprint represent by graphs and nodes connected by wires that called as execution. So all you can see here, right? So all these things what you are seeing here, so these are called as nodes. So this white color things, so everything we will be calling as nodes, and the wires whatever. So all these things for get anim instance, the montage play, impute action fire. So all this called as nodes, and the execution, this wire kind of stuff what you will be seeing, that will be calling as an execution flow of execution. Okay, so the word blueprint also used to refer to a game object created using a blueprint. Okay, so next is my major blueprint types. So what are the major blueprint types? So as you can see here, a class is definition of the data and behavior that will be used to a particular object. Okay, so as you can see, blueprint is combining all these things. Okay, just a second, somebody is okay, done. So, a blueprint class is used to create interactive objects for the game and can be reused in any level. So, all these things what you are seeing, these are the parts of your blueprint. So, next is my object actors and actor component classes. So, here you will be learning about the parent class. So, what is this parent class? So in case, see the below of or the sum of the parent classes. So here you see, right, you have seen the previous slide. So the object data, search, child actor, interface, framework, so these are the parts of your blueprint. So when it comes to your parent classes, so we have these three things. One is my object, actor, actor component. So these we call it as parent class. So what's the importance of the parent classes? So one parent class will be having as many as children class or the child actors or the child class. Okay, so again that particular child class will be having a sub child class or subclasses, and that thing goes on. So here the parent class will be having the highest authority. So parent class is a thing where it has the full authority or full control to change. So whatever you are changing with the parent class, for example, I would have added few things with the parent class. Okay, so that parent class will be having an extra power. Okay, and that powers will be inherited by the child actors. So in case if let's check that one actor will be, or let's check overall light as an parent actor. Okay, so under the light we have the point light, we have spotlight, we have other light. So for example, let's take the point light and spotlight. So what's the parent of this? So parent is a light actor. So light actor will be acting as a parent class, and the point light and the spotlight are their child actors. Okay, or the child class. So parent class will be having the highest number of power, and that power will be inherited to the point light or the spotlight, for examples. Okay, so here below are the some of the parent classes. So those are the object, actor, and actor component. So object is a thing. So base class for object in Unreal Engine. So all other classes are subclasses of the object classes. So all the classes what you are and all you will be seeing in the Unreal Engine. So all these classes comes under your object. So next is my actor. So actor, a base class used for objects that can be placed or spawned into the level. So into the level I can place or spawn, so that comes under my actor. Actor component is a thing that defines reusable behavior that can be added to a actor. So if you want to reuse, so you can add to the actor component. So therefore every actor is an object, but not all objects are acted. For example, actor component is an object, but it is not an actor. So overall all these things comes under my object. Okay, so next is my creating the blueprint classes from the content browser. But before going to this chapter, let's begin by switching, or let's start by creating our Unreal Engine project. Am I audible, right? Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. So once you open your Epic game, so obviously you have to sign in. So once you sign in, once you go for your library, so here you will be having the recent versions or the versions what it has been installed in your Epic game. So right now I'm using the 5.3.2 version. So let me launch this one. And you can also access whatever the projects you are right now working on with your vault. I mean under my project it will be there, and under the vault, in case if you have taken from your marketplace any of the projects, so you can add this to, in case if you want, for example, I need this animal variety pack to your right now whatever project I have been working, right? So for that you can directly add one. Okay, so that whatever you have been taken from the marketplace, that will comes under your vault. So let's start a project right now. So I'm launching my project. So you can use whatever version you are comfortable with. So, as my Unreal project browser has been started, let's go to the games and I'll be opting for the third person. Okay, then set your project location here, and under my project name I'll be starting with the project name. So what's my project name? So for example, I'll be starting with the blueprint, right? So today's class is blueprint. So I'll be starting with the blueprint class. So if you see here, I will be having an error called as project names may not contain a space. So here I'll be, as I had given a space, I'll be having an error. So kindly avoid giving the space while you are renaming your projects. Okay, so instead of space you can just use the underscore. And as you can see here, see, in case if you know C++ and if you are starting any project with the C++, then you can opt for C++. Okay, but if you don't know the C++ also, it's fine, because with Unreal Engine we are every time we'll be working with the blueprint itself. Okay, so if you understand or if you grab the concept of your blueprint, I think you will be good to go, or you can create any of your games. Okay, cool. So, and here you will just enable your starter content in case if your starter content is not enabled. Okay, so once you start with your starter content, enable that one and create your project. So in case if you are using the previous version below 5, for example 4.2 or 4.3, there you will be having few more steps create before starting your project. For example, it will ask whether you are starting your with the blueprint in the blueprint class level blueprint, or whether the quality of your project should be high, medium. So all these things will be there, so you can just check those options before starting your project. In case if you are using the recent version, then you don't have to do all those things. Okay, so as you can see, by default you will be starting with this particular level, that is my third person template. So if I go to my game mode right now here, you can see, right, the mannequin will be running according to my navigation keys. So the basic navigation keys for any of the games, so W for your friend, S for your back, A for your left, and D for your right, and space is for your jumping. So this mannequin also follows the same kind of rules to play. Okay, in case if you want to change any of these keys, then you have to go to your game mode and there you have to change, and that's a different concept, right? I just don't want to jump to that right now, because let's understand the basic of the concept, blueprint concept right now. Okay, so let me, instead of starting with the third person template, you will be either you can jump for the new level. Okay, or you can just start here. Okay, let me start with the new level itself. So under the new level you will be having the open world, empty open world, basic, and empty level. Okay, so I all usually prefer to go with the basic instead of all the rest of the three options, but that is up to you. It is up to your own comfortable, whatever level you want to choose, you can choose it. Okay, right now as I've gone, I mean I'll be selecting the basic. So let's start with the create. Okay, and so right now as you can see, I'll be having just the floor, so I don't see any of my third person template here. And if you want to save this level, you have to go here and save current level. So it will ask where you have to save. So let me go to my starter content, and there under the maps I'll be saving this map as my basic. Okay, save. As you can see, it will be saved under the name basic. So right now let me go to my content drawer, And under the starter content I'll be going for my architecture. Okay, see, under the architecture, let me take this 400 into 400 mesh right now. Let me start building a small a room kind of stuff. And if you see, I had enabled the snapping, so I'll snap to 90 degree, exact 90 degree. Okay, wait. Okay, then let me take another 400 into 400 wall, and let me start building it. See, instead of duplicate, um, I'll just right click and duplicate. Instead of that, that's a shortcut key that is holding your alt. So just hold your alt and move your mesh so it would be duplicated. Okay. So either you can just drag and drop again once again, or you can just start duplicating the same mesh. And for the roof part, I'll just duplicate the same wall, or you can just go take a plane for other stuff. So let me take this same wall for the roof part also. As I'm using the rotation, that is my E, I have rotated it. If you don't want snapping, you can just disable that one. Let me fix this little details here. Okay. And if you want, you can just add the floor also right now. Okay, that's done. So let me off the grid snapping so I can move it bit freely. Okay, and W will be for your move key shortcuts, and E is for your rotation, and R is for your scaling. So I'm just giving you a small reminder out of it. Okay, so next is to create this blueprint. So how can I create that one? So before doing that one, so in case, see, first let me play this level. As you can see, my, yeah, who's that? Did somebody ask the question or raise the hand? No. Okay. Okay, in case if you're having any doubts also, you can just on your mic, or you can just drop it in your comment section. Have you done so far? Are you guys working with me? Yes. Everybody done so far? Any doubts?
No, no doubt so far. I'm clear.
Okay. You're doing with me, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now, if I want to add a spotlight here, see, right now I'm not directly taking into your blueprint, so I'll just show how the things work right now. So, what's my thing is right now? So, whenever my character comes inside this house, so as you can see, the inside of the room is kind of dark, right? So, whenever my characters enter, it has to have this light. So, you can increase the intensity or color, change the color. That's up to you. So, my concept is whenever my character comes inside this particular room, and it has to start, or the light has to enable, or the light has to start. But as you can see, light is already been there, but I don't want, whenever my character enters that particular room only, I need the light to start. For that, what will I do? I will do everything with my blueprint, and I'll start giving the collision box, and I'll give the events for my collision box, and I'll start giving the functions for that. Okay. So, in case if you are using the very older versions, then you'll be having something called as level blueprint. So, you have it will be like you have to go here, and you can go to your basic trigger box, and for the trigger box you have to select the trigger box, then go to your blueprint, and from there you have to inherit the trigger box. Same goes to your point light and everything, but other than that, other functions will be same. Okay, I'm just telling you because I am not sure which version you are right now you are using. In case if you are using that version, then you can just opt for that particular method. Okay. So uh, let me just delete this particular light a bit right now. And as you can see in the slides, first, we'll be going with the creating the blueprint class. Okay, to create the blueprint class, you have to go to your content browser, then right click, and you'll be having a few options. There you have to select the blueprint class. So once you select your blueprint class, you will be having the parent class. So you have to start selecting your parent class. Okay, I think regarding all these things, there has already been taken the class in detail. So I'm not just going back to your previous sessions once again, but we'll be starting with our by picking up your parent class. So here we'll be having actor, pawn, character, player controller, game mode base, actor component, and scene component. So we'll be starting with your selecting your parent class, and will be selecting your actor class. So blueprint in editor interface, I think we'll first let's start by creating your new blueprint, then we'll check all these things. Okay. So let me go to my starter content, and let's come out of the starter content. I'll be creating a new folder, and I'll be naming it as my uh, point blueprint or light blueprint. Instead of that, I'll be using the prefix as bp underscore light. So using your prefix also holds a major spot in the Unreal Engine. So for example, for the master materials, you'll be using the and for the material instance, you'll be using mi, and for blueprint, you'll be using bp. In the same way, you'll be using for a lot of stuff. So for Niagara, it is Niagara particles, NP, and for the Niagara instance and everything. So all this blueprint instance, I think I'll be sharing the documentation. I think I had already shared also, not sure. I don't remember right now. So use the proper prefix also, so that it will help you in organizing your files in a proper disciplined way. Okay. So let's start by creating a blueprint class by actor, and I'll name this as bp underscore point light. Okay, so double click on that, and let me just drag and drop this to my next to my level, so that it is easy for me to switch between my level and my blueprint. Okay, so next, as you can see here, this is the um, editor overview. So first one, with this one we'll call it as a toolbar, and second, with this panel we call it as a component panel, and this one we'll call it as a blueprint panel, and this one, fourth one, we'll call it as a details panel, and fifth, with here we can switch between the viewport, construction script, event graph, and sixth, where we have the entire event graph setup. Okay, so next, here again we have the compile and save, browse, find, class settings and class defaults. So what are these? So well, starting with the compile. So compiles in blueprint necessary for validating the code and applying modification. Okay, for example, I would be doing some kind of code with a blueprint. Okay, in case if that particular code is wrong, or in case there is an error, so before adding it to your level, it will show the error so that I can correct that error and I can execute my blueprint. Okay, so we compile and save are the main few things in blueprint where you have to always keep on a check. Okay, so save, obviously it is going to save the current blueprint to your disk, and browse is where you are going to find where that current blueprint is, or whether you want to check where that particular thing has been located, and it is going to show or browse everything. Okay, and node find is where, in case if you want to find some particular node, it is going to find that one, and class settings is a thing which opens blueprint properties. Okay, class defaults allow for modification for initial values of your blueprint variables, and play is going to have a small display panel where it is going to show how the characters are getting played out there. Okay, so same with the component panel. Here component panel, various types of components can be added to the current blueprint, like static measures. So I'll just start here. So as you can see in the component panel, if I click on the add, I can add the audio, I can add the point light, scene, cube, sphere, measures, camera, all these things, spring arm, everything. So as you can see, all these things are been available here to save, to compile, to find. Class settings, so if I go to your class settings, you can change your parent class to from actor to any of the stuff. Okay, then play is the small display, it will show you where exactly your character is there, and you can start playing here. So instead of going to your level and rechecking, so I can just check within your blueprint panel, and I can check whether my blueprint is working or not working. Okay, and yes, is somebody asking a question? Any doubts? Okay, there is no doubt. Yes, so let's start by our first thing by adding the uh, collision box. So as you can see, and one more thing, as you can see my player start, I want my player start to start from the entrance, not from the side of the room. So I'm just replacing this player start. So now if you play, player will be at the front door of my room. Okay, so in that case, let me come back to my blueprint, and let me start by adding a collision box. So I'll be adding with the box collision. Okay, um yeah, once the box collision is there, let me compile, save, and I have to add this blueprint inside this particular box, right? So I'll be adding, but this small collision, so for example, can you see how big my mannequin is, and this small box collision does not make sense. In that case, what will you do? I am just going to resize that particular box, or that particular collision box. In that, see, either you have two options, either you can scale or you can extend the box. Okay, box shape. So I'll be just putting around value of 200, 200 and 200. Okay, compile and check. Okay, I think it is too big. No, it is proper. I'm just fitting that properly inside my room. Okay, so once that is done, kindly keep saving your files. Coming back, so what's my deal? So the first thing is I have to add a point light, right? So my thing is whenever my character comes with and collides with this particular collision box, my light inside the room has to switch on. For that, what is the main thing? For main thing is my point light, so I have to start adding by point light. So search for your point light. So as you can see, point light has come inside the box. It has been, so my box acts as my parent for the point light right now. Okay, so check whether your point light is exactly inside or not. Then you can change the color of your point light. And let me off the visibility right now, because I want that visibility whenever the collision happens only, not in between. So if I play right now, you can't see that light because I had off the visibility. But in case if I on, compile, save, can you see? The light has already been there. That's the reason I just off that particular visibility right now, because I need the visibility whenever my third person collide with this particular collision box. Okay, so in that case, select your box, go to your event graph, and I don't need event begin play, event actor begin play, event take, all these things, because the right now I am not using all these things, because even begin play is whenever you start your game. As soon as whenever you start your game particular game mode, then that particular event is going to start, which I don't need, because I need this event to execute whenever my third person comes in collision or collide with this particular collision box. Then only that particular event or that particular function has to start. That's the reason I don't think so. We need all these things. Just keep delete. See, you have two options. Just right click and search for your on component begin overlap. So, for example, you can search in your details panel, or once you select that particular box, right click, add event, add collision, and here you will be having an or add on component begin overlap. Okay, that's one method. Okay, but you have to select that particular box, because your Unreal Engine can't figure it out for what you are trying to add this particular event, right? It does not know whether you are trying to add it for your point light or you are adding it for your box. That's the reason you have to choose select particular asset what you are trying to add, then you have to add. See, this is one method. Or if you go to your details panel down, here also under the events you can call an event, that is my on component begin overlap. So if you see your plus sign, so if I press on this particular plus sign, here I'll be having this on component begin overlap. There is one more method where you can just select your box, right click there, add event, add on component begin overlap is not available because it's already been there in my event graph. That's the reason. You can find living that one particular event, you can find all the available or accessible events there. Okay, you can add any of these events. So right now, as my on component begin overlap is already been there, so first thing is for what I have to execute this right now. So what's the thing which is getting collision with this particular box? That is my character, right? That's the reason. So whenever this character comes only, I have to execute this function. That's the reason. execute by saying cast to third person character. Okay, so then you have to connect your other actor to this particular object. Okay, so that's done. Okay, that's done. So right now whenever my particular third person character comes, this is going to execute. So what it has to execute? It has to execute the point light. So point light has to on or off. So I have to drag and drop this particular point light. Again, once again I'm telling, in case if you are using the previous version of your point light, so uh, in case if you are using the level blueprint, in that case you have to select the point light from your basic or your level blueprint, right click, and you have to inherit it or put a reference here. But if you are using the normal blueprint, you can just execute directly. So just drag and drop your point light. So what is the condition for my point light right now? So I have to set the visibility, right? So search for set visibility. Okay, once the set visibility is there, so what's the deal now? I have to connect or execute from my third person character to set visibility, compile. So as you see, if I compile, in case if I don't have any this particular no errors, then it is going to have, or it is going to show with the green. So I am not having any error. So for example, in case there is an error, for example, let me disable this on actor and compile. Can you see it is going to show an error? So if you can't figure it out where exactly you are making a mistake, so come under your compiler result and you can see the object. So it will show connect something to cache to bp third person. So there you can just connect it, then compile, save. So go back and play. Still, I had already executed, or I had already set the visibility and taken the point light, I can't see my point light here. Why? Because in the point light we have to enable new visibility. Okay, then compile and save the file. Now get back to your file and play. So play, come back, play, go inside your room. As you can see, light has been on, but it will be on forever. I don't want that one. So I need to switch on my light whenever my character is inside that particular box, but whenever it comes off, no, I don't want the visibility to be on. In that case, what you have to do, just come out, go to your point light settings, and there is something called as we have to end that particular event. And before doing that one, see, right now I am the only person who is working in that particular project. So however I can keep, I can, but you have to always maintain the proper naming, comments and everything. So your graph has to look neat, and all the notes has to be neat and everything. Okay, so in case if the other person, or it's kind of professional to keep everything neat and tidy, so in that case, let me add a comment here by pressing C. Okay, what is this comment? So right now, what's the deal? What's happening here? So what's the thing is po- point light visible. So this entire function, it means that point light has been visible. That's the function which is going on here. So I can move. So if you see, if you hold your comment box and if you move up or down, the entire function or nodes what you have been there, it would be getting started, or it will move along your comment box. Okay. So that's kind of a proper kind of grouping. Okay, so and here you can change the comment text. You can also change the color. For example, let me move it to a light purplish color, so it's done. Okay, and you can also change the font size here. So if you see, you can change up to however you need, but keep it to your default, that is your 18. Okay, so now what is my main deal, I also have to, whenever my character comes out of this room, my light has to switch off. Okay. For that, what I have to do, I have to end this particular event or this particular function. So in order to end, same thing, you have to select the box, go to your add event, you have to add on component end overlap. See, one thing you can do, I mean, I can connect it overall to the same visibility, but as we are beginning with the blueprints, I don't want to confuse you. That's the reason. Again, I'll be setting visibility here. Okay. So on component begin overlap, cache to third person, cache to third person character, connect other actor to your object, and set visibility. As you can see, point light is already, it has been taken. So you don't have to do anything. And right now set visibility is been off. Compile, save, go to your basic and check whether the function is working or not. On. Okay, now it is off. Can you see? I'm just going to show you once again. So whenever my character goes inside, light will be on. Once it comes out, light will be off. So here once again I'm adding a new comment, C, and I'll name it as, let me copy the same thing. Instead of visible, I'll just put disable. Okay. So that's for my event graph on or switching the light on or off. So guys, still here, any doubts you're having? Any doubts so far? No, okay.
No, no, no. It's
Okay. See, I have done the blueprint. So under the blueprint point light, okay, this entire event is done. So coming back to our presentation here. So under the panels, we have the, once you start adding, we can add the construction script here from here, and you can also add the variables and other stuff. So if I get back to my blueprint here, see, here is the thing. So you can add the construction script is already been there. If you want to add a new variable, you can still add it. So that's for the adding the new panel or new variable. And under the details panel you will be having, see, in case if you are selected any one particular event or any one particular variable or component, so you'll be having all the details of your components. You can change the variables name, transform, you can set the parents parent socket and other stuff. So everything will be under my details panel, and this would be my viewport. So in case if you have not checked, I think you have checked the viewport, right? So when we have started with the viewport itself, so this box and the point light, everything will be under my viewport. So event graph, this is where just now we had been executed, and placing nodes. So I had also showed you three different ways of getting the new nodes. So you can just go to your contact menu, and from there you can just drag and drop, or a content browser, or from your details panel. So you have three ways to bring the nodes to your event graph. Then also placing the nodes. So where and all you can place your particular nodes, or where you can find the nodes. Okay. Then where you can search the nodes. So if you search the overlap, so all the thing related to your overlap, collisions, functions and events, everything will be there. So it has a very easy access to all the content. Okay. So under your palette panel also you have two search bars, so you can search, you can also pin your favorite things. So then placing notes in a context sensitive. So here in case you have this context sensitive, right? So here it is telling if it is checked, the list of nodes will be filtered to action that can be used to current context. For example, uh, coming back to your blueprint, so I would have been selected this one. Okay. So from here, if I execute a pin, so here it will filter it out. So why the we have to keep enabling the context sensitive is, so it will filter out from here whatever you can add, whatever the option which is available only you can add to this particular, after execute this particular function to set visibility. If you disable the overall, it will show, but some function it might not execute. Okay, so it will filter out whatever possible executions only it is going to filter out. Okay, that's the thing with the context sensitive, so you should kindly keep enable that thing. So next, nodes, pins and wires. So as you can see here, this we call it as nodes, and we can the execution pin will be there, and we have the data pins. So these are the stuffs we are right now what we have done. Okay, so one more thing is, in case if it is like these are the booleans, right? So conditions you can add, the branches you can add. So boolean is mainly peculiar for your true or false situation. So if the true, the event is true, then this particular action has to take place. If the event does not match the particular function what I have given, then it has to take the false, and that particular event has to take place. So that's the particular branch, and that branch will be taking the execution paths. Okay, true or false pin. Yeah, now comes the construction script. So what's the deal with this particular construction script? So as we are coming to the end of the class, we have the last thing, that is my construction script. So before that, so for example I have this, so I have saved this particular level, right? So I have saved, I will be saving this current level. uh, just a second, I think blueprint has, my Unreal Engine got glitch, it has been stuck. Let me close this file and reopen. Okay, let me close this and reopen. Let me reopen my file. Open that particular level. So where I have saved that one, under the starter content, under the maps, I have saved it as basic. So here's my basic. So imagine this blueprint is working fine and good, right? Okay, I don't have any issues with that, because whatever function I had given, it is working peculiar and fine. But this blueprint I also have to use in my different level. Okay, in that case, for example, I'll be starting a new level, again basic. So here, if I drag and drop that particular blueprint, can you see? Things are missing here. So if I go I'm not sure where exactly I'm going. That room, wherever I put the room, that is kind of missing. In that case, what I will do, I'll just go and I'll go to my basic level, don't save, and I'll on this blueprint. I'll go, I'll double click on this blueprint, and here only I'll start adding that particular boxes. Okay, so imagine I'll be adding a plane, and I can scale that one, and I can keep it in the form of room. I can make a small room and duplicate. I can do these things also. Okay, just duplicate that one. See, I'm just giving an example here. So if I compile save, and if I take that particular blueprint somewhere else, then I can see that particular planes also with my blueprint, so it would be easy for me to execute to any of the levels. So that is one thing what I wanted to show you. Another thing is my construction script. So if you don't want to go all these things, then compile save. Let me just duplicate this particular room once again. See, I have three different rooms now. So whenever my character goes inside these three different rooms, also it has to follow the same function. So whenever it goes inside, it has to follow the same light. But here, when I go to my second room and third room, these things are not following because the blueprint wherever I had executed, right, that blueprint is kind of missing here. So I'll be just duplicating the blueprint also for the second and third room. So now if I play, functions are working. Okay, but I need different color for different blueprint. So I mean for my room, so where my first room will be white, my second room will be blue, and third room will be red color. In that case, what I have to do, I have to go to my, but I don't see, if I go to my whatever the blueprint is in my details panel, I don't have that option to change the color, right? So I have to go to the construction script right now. So as you can see in the construction script, there is only one execution pin. So what is this construction script right now? So construction script runs following the component list when an instance blueprint class is created. So um, this can be extremely powerful as the action performing trace into the word setting measures materials, so can be used to achieve context specific setup. So I have some kind of specific setup which I want to do, so that I'll be doing. For example, I had also given, so for instance, a light blueprint could be determined what type of ground it is placed upon and choose the current mesh to use from a set of measures, or a fence blueprint could be performed traces extending out in each direction to determine how long of a fence is needed to span that particular distance. So usually construction script is the script where it will check before the event graph actually runs. So construction scripts run first, so it will check whether all my functions are running properly or not, then only the event graph will execute. So this is the kind of thing which is going to start. So here for this, what I will do, uh, I'll just take this point light. Okay, and I'll see set light color. Okay, and I'm going to execute this one. And right click, promote to variable, new color I'm just going to add. I had added a new color here, and compile, save, and this particular new color will be visible here right now in my blueprint. So still it is not visible because I have to enable this particular instance editable, and you can just give the description as new color. Compile, save. Now go to your basic. Can you see new light color will be there right now? So here you can change this particular color, whatever color you are determined to change, without going to your blueprint or without creating a new blueprint for that. So for my each room I can't go on keep on creating the new blueprint, right? So with the help of new construction script, I have the ability to change the color within the details panel. Okay, so let's play and check whether these things are working or not. So first thing, let me go. Where is my blueprint? Did I change the blueprint in the first panel? Let's check whether where is my blueprint right now. Yeah, it is working. Green color, can you see? Without changing with the blueprint, I got my green, I got my red color. I think here the blueprint is missing, so I have to drag and drop the blueprint here. No, color is not been done here. That's the reason it's not showing. So let me add a yellow color for this one. Okay. So now let's play. So I got the yellow color. So next would be my green, and next would be my red. So without need to change in each blueprint or without creating a new blueprint for each room, so within just with the one blueprint I had created three different sets of colors using the construction script. That's the use of construction script. So as you can see, we have completed everything. Okay, so as you can see our first panel, so I think we have covered almost all the thing mentioned topics here. Okay, so as we had started, so we had started with the introduction of the blueprint, and we had demonstrated the blueprint editor interface. We had demonstrated how to create the blueprint classes. We had also learned how the concept of my child and parent inheritance, and we have seen the nodes in the event graphs, the blueprint graph executions, and we had also checked upon the event graph and understood the basic concept of parent child inheritance, the execution flow of the blueprint, and we had finally got to know the event graph and the construction script difference. Okay, so coming back to our, so one thing you have to understand is, see, all the nodes which we are executing will run from left to right. As you can see, all the functions which we are executing, no, every functions, every nodes will run from left to right. So that's one point with the blueprint. Okay, so guys, have you completed so far? So have you completed so far? Have you completed? Am I audible? Am I
Yes, you're
audible?
audible.
Yeah. Guys, have you completed so far? Any doubts you are having? In case if you are having any doubts, let me know. We have some time in our hands so that I can go revise once again from the start. Let me know whatever you are facing.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, Meghna. I have a question. Um, so this tool that you're going to using now, which version is this?
Right now I'm using 5.3.1. So
5.3.1. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So
So this is the latest version, is it?
yeah, this is the latest version. I think one more version it's on the way. So the Unreal will be launching it very soon.
Okay. So see, I'm not new for 3D or anything related to visual effects and all.
Yeah,
So I understand all these collisions, particles, 3D modeling, lighting, literally everything.
yeah.
Okay. But now, if I want to start, which version would you tell me to download?
I think all the version is having the similar output. So once you're talking about the blueprint, so all the version 5 is all to all it's same. So with the each versions, if you go to the documentation and if you check, so there will be new updates with the each version. So for example, with the 5.3, the animation quality and with the Niagara quality has been improved a lot. So in case if you are not checking out with the Niagara or anything with related to your animation part, so start with the 5.1 only, which I would recommend. So, or else, if you can just opt for 5.3 without any doubts, because 5.3 got all this stuff. So the bug also it is not too much with the 5.3. You can run your in case if your system can afford or your system is having the high quality, you can run with the 5.3 without any glitches or without any slowdowns. Okay.
Okay, so I have one last question, a common question. Um, is this subscription, you have to buy a license for using this, or I can just download it? It's free for use.
No. Unreal is completely use free. So you can just create a new account with your Epic Games. Then you can start launching with your Unreal Engine. Only thing is, it will ask for the space. So Unreal needs a quite number of space. If it is done, then you are good to go with anything.
Oh, okay. Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Okay then. Guys, any doubts so far? Other than that, any one particular thing you got stuck or anywhere like that, or is your blueprint working good, fine and good? Is everything fine with your blueprint with the light is or the switch between the light on and off is working fine? Guys, can you just on your cameras for a bit? Can you just on your cameras for a bit? Nandish, James. Okay. Nandish, can you just on your camera? Okay. Okay, all good. So what I wanted to say is, so as we are starting with the blueprint right now, as we know, we had started with the event graph and we have known the construction script in today's session. So next session we'll be trying with the new things. So for example, opening a door with the blueprints, and we can also start with the coin collection with the blueprint. Okay, so kindly everyone mm, be on time for the next session. Okay, so in case if you are having any doubts in today's session, also you can just kindly contact me and other things. So you can always text or message, or you can just ask your doubts with the next session. And kindly keep practicing because Unreal Engine needs you. As much as you practice, it will be well and good for you guys. Okay, So let's end today's session. Hopefully by next session you will be completed with your blueprint light switch on and off. But I think you can take this as an homework and you can take or come up with a new different concept with whatever I had thought today. Okay. So shall we end today's session?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So bye guys. Take care and keep working on your Unreal Engine.